Tonight we're keeping the tradition of Stay & Scream alive with this very special Halloween Horror Nights at Home edition of Theme Park Bar. Fog.
Hello, my name is Matt and welcome to Theme Park Bar. I am a career bartender and an Orlando native who wants to show you how to make the best signature drinks from around the world and across the universe. Here at Theme Park Bar, we know that the best attractions are the ones served in a glass.
Halloween Horror Nights opening weekend has finally come, and it's a bittersweet day for all of us in the theme park community. As most of you know, I am a die-hard Horror Nights fan. I first started attending the event back in 1999, which means this year would have been the 21st year I've attended the event. It's crazy. You know, given what's going on in the world, when news of the cancellation of the event came out, I was obviously crushed, but I like to think I took it pretty well. Okay, yeah, I cried a lot, but I'm not going to let a global pandemic stop me from celebrating the start of the spooky season. And nothing really quite started things off like rolling into Stay & Scream with some friends after grabbing a couple of drinks and then power walking through some haunted houses, nearly blinded because, you know, your eyes hadn't adjusted from the sunlight yet. Now, we all might not be standing together in Finnegan's or Duff Gardens in the hot Florida sun waiting for them to move the barricades, but that still hasn't stopped that overwhelming sense of community and friendship with HHN at home. This week I'm going to be showing you how to make two different cocktails. The first one is from Horror Nights Past, and the other is a Theme Park Bar original of what I would have liked to have seen served at the event this year. Our first one is going to be Jack'd Up Carnage, coming from Halloween Horror Nights 25. Named in honor of Horror Nights' original icon and his carnival, the Jack'd Up Carnage is one of the most iconic drinks from Halloween Horror Nights history. I've actually received more requests for this drink than anything else from Horror Nights of past. This drink is very sweet and refreshing, especially in those muggy Orlando nights, but it has that unmistakable cinnamon spice that reminds you that, hey, this is fall after all. Here's what you're going to need. 1 ounce of Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, 1 ounce of Ole Smoky Moonshine, half an ounce of Blue Curacao, 2 ounces of sweet and sour, and 2 ounces of lemonade. Yeah, that's right, this drink has moonshine. We got that good illegal hooch. Actually, I'm just kidding. Commercially available moonshine has been quite popular over the past decade. In short, all it is really unaged whiskey. You get at least a 50% by volume mash of corn, you let it distill, and you bottle it up and sell it right away. If you threw it into an oak barrel and let it sit there for a few months or to a couple of years, you'd have whiskey, bourbon, whatever. Straight distillation though, unaged, clear whiskey. Alright, let's go ahead and get the Jack'd Up Carnage started off. Of course, we're going to fill our mixing glass with ice. Alright, we got our ice in there. Let's start off with the Ole Smoky Moonshine. It's going to be a little tricky. Wide open jar. I should have done this in pre-production, but it's cool. We got most of it. We got most of it in there. No one needs to know, right? I'm a professional. From that, we're going to put 1 ounce of Fireball whiskey. Oh man, I have had quite a bit of Fireball in my day. Ooh. Half an ounce of our Blue Curacao. Blue Curacao, of course, is going to be an orange rind liqueur. A little citrus. Follow that up with our 2 ounces of sweet and sour. You can use store-bought or homemade, either or. It's perfectly fine, especially in a cocktail like this. From there, lastly, 2 ounces of lemonade. Get your tin, seal it up, shake it. Now, of course, we're going to get our blinky cup and fill it with ice. And we're going to strain it over the fresh ice there. I suppose this step actually isn't really that necessary. You could just open pour it from the tin directly into the blinky cup. But, okay, so there you go. You got the Jack'd Up Carnage, but you know, it just feels wrong to have a drink like this
when it's so bright in here. Oh yeah, there we go. We got some mood lighting, we got the fog going. Now it feels like Halloween Horror Nights. Let's go ahead, give the Jack'd Up Carnage a taste here. Ooh. Oh, that is good. That is great. Get a really crisp mouthfeel going on with these, all the citrus. Of course, you have the sweet and sour, which is going to have a lemon and lime punch going on. The lemonade being very lemon forward. The blue curacao with a little bit of orange. Incredibly well balanced, especially considering you have 2.5 ounces of alcohol in there. One being moonshine, which is 50% alcohol by volume. Of course, like I said, that fireball, which always packs a crazy punch and usually leads to crazy nights. I mean, hey, what's crazier than Jack the Clown, right? This is very tasty, but this isn't all we have lined up for you this week.
Now let's fast forward to today and play a game of what if Matt was in charge of coming up with the signature drink for this year's event. Well, taking a look at all of the merchandise and the tribute store itself, I think it was a pretty safe bet to say that this year was going to heavily focus on the 30-year anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights, as well as feature Beetlejuice. So that is why I came up with the Price is Fright, a candy apple cocktail named after the show from Halloween Horror Nights 4 and 5, starring all of our favorite bio-exorcists. This cocktail is going to be sweet and strong, and will have you singing the Banana Boat song with strangers in the queue lines in no time. Here's what you're going to need. 1 1/4 ounce of cherry bourbon, 3/4 of an ounce of Citron Vodka, 1/4 of an ounce of Maraschino, 4 ounces of green apple soda.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get the Price is Fright cocktail working here. We're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm actually not going to start off with a mixing glass full of ice. We're just going to do an empty mixing glass, mix everything in there, and then pour the drink directly into ice. This is kind of more to replicate that whole batch drink thing you're going to find at Horror Nights. You know, we're only making a single cocktail here, not a giant 5-gallon bucket of the stuff, but, you know, similar concept. I mostly don't want the soda to go flat in this drink. So, like I said, we got our mixing glass. We're going to be starting off with 1 1/4 ounce of our cherry bourbon. I'm using Beam Red Stag. You've seen me use it on the show before. So 1 1/4 ounce. From there, we're doing 3/4 of an ounce of Citron Vodka. I'm using Grey Goose La Citron. Now from there, we're going to be adding Maraschino Liqueur. Maraschino Liqueur is a product from the Mediterranean, I believe Croatia specifically. It is a sour cherry liqueur, essentially, like maraschino cherries. Even though it is a liqueur, it does pack a crazy punch. I want to say it's something like 64 proof. 64 proof, so 32% alcohol by volume. You're only going to need a little bit of this. This is just me adding some more cherry flavor to the drink. Like I said, we're just doing about 1/4 of an ounce. A little bit is going to go a long way with this stuff. And lastly, we're adding 4 ounces of our green apple soda. Using our green apple soda, I wanted to make something, you know, bright green and colorful and very flavorful, and I was going back and forth on what ingredients to use, and then I remembered, hey, this is a Halloween Horror Nights Blinky Cup drink. So we're going to add 4 ounces of our green apple soda. Just give that a quick light stir. Just get everything mixed up. From there, we're going to get our serving glass, our souvenir glass, whatever you have. Fill it up all the way to the top with ice. And just let that drink pour in ever so gently. I'm going to add just a couple of drops of blue curacao. I'm talking like 3 drops. I'm going to float it on top of the spoon just to make sure it doesn't get too wild. I'm not trying to add any flavor at all to the drink, just a little bit of color. This is one of those little bartender secrets, you know. If anyone orders a like sour apple martini from me, it's just going to give a little bit more of a richer color, which I'm looking for because, you know, I'm doing this for the YouTubes and the Instagrams and all that stuff. Now, of course, this is me making a Halloween Horror Nights cocktail, so we're not done here. We're going to add a little bit of a garnish. Of course, I'm busting out the Fancy Daddy cherries. All right, so we got a couple of Fancy Daddy cherries. And I've talked about it being superstitious to only have an even number of garnish. So, of course, I'm throwing just 2 up there. And now my secret, what's going to bring this drink over the top, bar spoon, maybe 2 of the Fancy Daddy cherry juice syrup, whatever you want to call it there. Gives the drink that iconic Beetlejuice purple and green streaks. And there we go, guys. The Price is Fright cocktail. Now, I know it's Halloween Horror Nights. This is not the appropriate way to present this drink. That's right. You can't have a theme park bar inspired Blinky Cup drink without a theme park bar Blinky Cup. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and give this a taste here. Well, it's going to be no surprise that I think it is fantastic. It is, of course, a sweet drink. This is not going to win any awards for Master Mixology or anything like that. However, it is sweet, it is fruity, it is very fun, very colorful. It tastes, I said it's a candy apple flavored cocktail. It reminds me so much of those like candy apple lollipops you would get trick-or-treating. Very cherry forward with the cherry bourbon as well as the maraschino liqueur. Of course, the green apple soda being the mixer there, really strong. This is easy to drink. This is cold and refreshing, and you know, the chuggability of it, because you know, sometimes you're at Horror Nights, those queues go faster than you're intending them to be, and you end yourself at the front of the line a lot quicker, and next thing you know, you have to pound down a Blinky Cup drink just to get into that haunted house, because you ain't letting that loud person playing Heads Up behind you get in front of you in the house. No way. If I'd listened to play Heads Up the entire time, I'm not letting it get in front of me. I'm finishing my drink. Anyways, yes, guys, cherry bourbon, citrus vodka, a little bit of that maraschino, of course, the Fancy Daddy cherries, the Fancy Daddy cherry juice really brings it all together. This is really good. I really hope you guys try and make this yourself and tell me what you think. Delicious.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on this very special Halloween Horror Nights at Home edition of Theme Park Bar. If you haven't done so already, become one of my bar regulars by subscribing to the channel and let me know down in the comments below what cocktails you'd like to see recreated here. You can find me all over social media, both at Twitter and Instagram at Theme Park Bar, and you can find all of my past videos and recipes over at themeparkbar.com. Remember this haunt season when you're going out to please always be safe, to drink responsibly, and never forget to tip your bartenders. And